Hi there, welcome to the year 2015 and the forecast. So I've been consulting Voyager. This is an amazing life navigator and personal GPS, Voyager. And what it does tell us about this coming year is that it's the year of balance, 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 balance. And this is actually the Voyager graphic, the card from the navigator, and it is the balance card. So what does this card, this graphic, tell us about the landscape for this coming year? Well, it tells us that there's a lot of this and that, and that and this. It's living in the and. Balance is not a static concept. It's very much dynamic. It's kind of like a dance back and forth. And in a way, we're kind of two minds here. I look at it this way, but then I look at it that way. Boy, I don't know what to think. It's a very uncertain kind of year in the balance and very much on the edge, very edgy. So it's not real stable, nothing guaranteed about it. Lots of clouds. There's clouds up in here. A little bit cloudy, a little bit murky. We're not sure, that's for sure. But I do love the fact that there are diamonds here with multiple facets on it. So that does indicate that there's a lot of opportunities this year. This could be a great year with many, many possibilities, but which ones are going to come through and which ones are going to come true? Forecasting the future is always shaky. I call it actually prediction fiction. And particularly this coming year when things are up in the balance this way and that way. So what's the best way to plan our life? How can we forecast the future? The best way is to really follow this one rule, and that is to plan for the best, prepare for the worst, of course, and expect surprise. Lots and lots of surprise, because we just don't know. Nobody knows. Ask anybody and they'll tell you we don't know. So we have to prepare ourselves and plan for the best. Now, how do we do that? How do we plan for the best? At least do the best we can given this kind of shaky world that we live in. Well, that's what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you 8 different ways. Actually, 2015 adds up to 8. 2015 equals 8. So I'm giving you 8 different ways of going through your whole self to get the best determination of how to make a good decision, a sound decision, a balanced decision. In a year of uncertainty, you want to be very, very balanced, very centered, very grounded, very true to yourself, to be at least in your own power, doing the best you can to handle with flexibility and agility this dynamic year that we are living in. So we're going to go through these 8 ways. So first way, and actually when you look at this card, it's a very mental card. I mean, this is a face, it's a right brain, left brain, castle of the mind, very mental. So it does tell us that to make a sound, balanced decision, to plan for the best, how to be a planner, if you will, is use your thinking brain. Get all the information you can from everywhere. Do your research, do your homework, your due diligence, and then lay out with an equanimous mind, meaning a balanced mind, a neutral mind, not a prejudiced mind, overly optimistic or overly pessimistic, but very objective, very neutral, equanimity here. And that's what you get with this card. I mean, actually, one of the other titles for this card is called Justice. Justice, and the sort of justice. And justice is very fair and very even in theory. We know that. So the idea is to be very, very centered and neutral in your calculations. So when we add up, this is a good thing, the pros and the cons of any decision, just get them out there. Don't judge them. Just get them out there. But certainly the ones, the cons, where you're not sure of, you do want to see what those are about and make sure you have a plan B and a plan C and maybe a plan D. Again, prepare for the worst if it might happen. But in any event, we don't want to get too mental. That is the red flag. that is the watch out for this coming year, is overthinking, over-relying on our thinking brain, and then getting into what I call paralysis through analysis. Like, I don't know what to do. I thought about this way, but then that looks pretty good, but then I read this and I was told that. I don't know what to do. So many ideas, and they lead us into this paralysis. Actually, when you look at this graphic, this mental figure here is pretty much static, really not going anywhere too fast, and that can be a real problem. And sometimes we get habituated to the status quo. It's an addiction, status quo, because we live in the comfort zone, and I call it, of course, death by comfort. It's sometimes we never make a decision. We live in this ambiguity. We don't know what to do, so let's do nothing. Well, you know, that's not the savviest, most appropriate way to live your life. Now, sometimes, obviously, that's a very good thing, to hunker down, tread water, maintain, but not forever and ever and ever. At some point, you have to make a decision. And actually, back to the graphic of the Life Navigator, this character, a woman, is called the Judge, and rendering the sword of justice is here. And judges have to make a decision. Not easy. They look at the pros, the cons, the assets, the debits, this side, that side, the evidence, and then has to render a choice, a decision. And that's what this balance year is all about, is coming to a very just, fair, balanced, considered decision, wise decision. And certainly in this year of balance, you do not want to be impulsive. You want to be very conservative in a way, meaning take your time. Don't just fly off, oh, let's do that. No, that's not this year. This is a year of really considering the options. And what we're looking at is all the options inside of ourself, if you will, to make this kind of considered, fair, just decision for ourselves. So first we go to the mind, okay, and we just lay out those pros and cons, just let them be. Don't make any judgment, forget it, just let it go, because there's other aspects of ourself that we're going to consider and factor into this decision, and some of these other aspects of ourself are perhaps more important than the thinking mind. So let's go to another way of making a decision. Let's go to our so-called higher self. Woo! I mean, this kind of, it's that part of us that wants to take the high road, the moral road, to do the right thing. So when you ask about a decision you're going to make and you're confused, don't know what to do about it, you're in the balance of it, I don't know, ask your higher self, what's the right thing to do? What's the right thing to do? Now, again, that's only one aspect of all of us. That's we've thought about it, and now we've gone to the higher self. That's all very good, but there's still more aspects of ourselves we need to consider. And I love this one, and it's going to the body and letting the body is. His body is genius. The body knows, frankly. Body does not lie. The brain, it's like a monkey mind sometimes. It'll do its tricks, okay? But the body it's solid. The body just doesn't lie. So we've got this decision. Let's say we have option A and option B. So what I love to do, this is a great one, is to put option A in one hand, option B in the other hand, or to do or not to do in each hand. And then, with your eyes closed, weigh them out. Weigh these decisions out. And maybe over a little bit of time, all of a sudden, this A option starts to raise up a little bit. And maybe to you, that's like, ooh, that's light. I like that. Other people, this is your intuition determining here. Other people, in doing this, when one hand maybe goes down, that might be the right decision because it feels like it has more gravitas. It's weightier, it's more substantial, and that's the way we should go. So that's kind of your call, but this is a very way to physically, energetically feel out these decisions. So that's a really, really great way. So higher self, mental self, physical self, and what about the emotional self, that part of us that, ooh, gets an idea and loves it, and let's go do it, and da-da-da. And let's see what our emotions have. Emotions got power. Emotions have intelligence. There's no doubt about it. Emotions can move us. So I do a thing called flip the coin. So I get my favorite coin. This is a JFK 50-cent piece. And I like to flip the coin and see what to do. So I clip the coin. Whoa! I caught it, actually. I didn't do very well. Let's really flip this coin this way. Ooh, whoa! Okay, it went. Okay, I got it. So we look at the coin, and option A is heads, option B is tails. And it's option A, JFK. So the coin flip says go with option A. However, the real deal on that, the most telling part about that is your reaction to what comes up. So maybe the heads comes up, option A, but I don't know if I like that. I wish it was having tails or something like that. That's the right answer. The right answer is your emotional reaction, your emotional response to what comes up. It's not about whether it's heads or tails. No, it's about how you feel about what comes up. That can be the most determining part of making your decision, because that's pure emotional, like, oh, I like that, oh, well, that is something you may want to heavily consider in your calculations of any decisions and choices to make, for sure. Okay, that's a really good one. Now, let's go to your subconscious. Most of us actually we are mostly a collection of unconscious and subconscious impulses and knowings and history and herstory. We are a collection of a couple billion years, if you will, of history and herstory. And so I love to do this technique. And I'm wearing it right now. This is a pendulum, my gold pendulum I wear. But I actually am not going to take it off, but I have another pendulum here. And a pendulum is a great way to really assess at a very subtle energetic level what your subconscious wants you to do. So here's option A, and you put your pendulum over that, and maybe it starts to swing crazy or not or whatever. And then you do it around option B over here and see what that has to say. And you will know. You will know from the way this pendulum swings, and it's kind of a real intuitive call here. I got to tell you about what you're really feeling at a very deep level. And so this is a simple technique, but profound and powerful, and trusted, because it does reveal. It reveals the subconscious. Now, another way. This is, I like that. Well, I love all these ways. But this one is... it's hard to make decisions, particularly in a time of uncertainty and change, like balance and like modern times in the 21st century. Hard to make decisions because we don't have perfect information. In other words, we are surprised. When we don't know what exists, we can't factor it into our determinations. And so when it comes up, all of a sudden, how we were calculating what to do doesn't count anymore because we are surprised. We don't know what we don't know. And that is a very, very tricky situation to be in. So it's kind of, like I said before, welcome surprise. There will be surprise. And frankly, one of the great things about this year, with surprise coming our way, for sure, expect surprise, is your ability to respond with agility, to be on your toes. I love in the balance here, the balance graphic, the dancer here. She's right on her toes, and she is ready to go this way and that way and whatever way. It used to be survival of the fittest. In a way, it still is, of course. But maybe the fittest is survival of the quickest, survival of the nimblest, survival of the most agile, change able, adapt able, all those kinds of abilities of quick thinking and quick feeling and on your toes, on the ball. I'm actually on the ball. As I say that, I'm actually bouncing on a physio ball. This is how I work and talk about balance. The minute I get on this ball, I'm totally reminded about living in balance. But this is a great, great tool for you and a certain reminder that it is about staying in balance. Okay, so what were we talking about? Surprise. All right. I love to go to the Navigator Voyager again, and it's full of cards, these intuition cards, multimedia, if you will, or multicultural symbols and images from all over the place. And so here they are. So DNA on the background. So it's true for all human beings. It's all of our connect. So I'm going to just show it because this is about surprise. We're going to go to the cards, be surprised, and give us an indication of what surprise we might expect, and then it's not a surprise anymore. That's why tools like this are really great because they prepare you for a surprise, and it's a good practice of learning how to deal with surprise and manage surprise. And so here we are. I don't know. Cards are going. Okay, I'm going to go with this card. Let's see what it is. It is wow. It is fulfillment. Fulfillment. It's 9 full cups. It's got pearls coming out, the conch shell, flowers, lots of good wine, good stuff. Fulfillment on the emotional level here. So wow, what's the surprise here? I suppose wineries will do real well in the coming year. You can be kind of silly at that, but I'm sure vintners are not too frivolous about the state of wine. But more than that, it's a fulfillment. So it does indicate to me that even though it's kind of an iffy year, it can go this way and then that way, but then back this way and then over that way, and so we don't know. This is a card of saying, this could be a highly fulfilling year, a highly successful year, a year where you really achieve something, and in the doing and in the completion, in the harvest, if you will, you are happy, you are fulfilled. I mean, this can work. I mean, this is not, this fulfillment card is not just a balance of maintaining kind of card, a survival card. This is like an accomplishment card, a real reward card, if you will. So in a year of balance, it's a real surprise to me. Not so much, but the card came up as surprise. Now, wow, come on, let's make something happen this year. This is not a year of just treading water. Let's go for it, because there's great, like we saw in that diamond earlier in our discussion, there's a lot of rich possibilities out there for us in terms of work and money and relationships and life in all sorts of ways. So that's why making the right decision for yourself that's coming from your center, that's considering all the different possibilities that we've been looking at, is so important. Because, about forecasts, there's no objective future, frankly. The future is made by us, by me, by you. It's what we call the self-fulfilling prophecy. So prophecies are made. Fortunes are created. This is fortune creation process here, this tool here. And so we want to make decisions that are right for us and that give us power, because when we're motivated, it works for us. It may not work for other people, but it's my right decision and my empowered decision. Then you by far have the best chance to find that kind of fulfillment that we're seeing in this card. That's why making this kind of right decision, wise decision, empowered, motivated, centered decision is so important, because if you do that correctly this coming year, there are lots of opportunities for success and fulfillment. I love that. Okay, so now we've gone through all these different ways, I think 6 different ways of calculating the decision to make. But let's go to my go-to way. I get all these considerations we already have. And now the time has come to really go into your deep intuitive self, which your heart of hearts, your inner voice has to say. And this is not, it's a small feeling, probably. It's not some over-the-top immediate reaction. It's a very considered, meditative kind of calculation that you have to go into. And so actually, when you look at the balance card for this year, she's quite meditative. I mean, it's very calm, very quantumous, and emotionally balanced in equilibrium. And so the best way to do that is to go into a little bit of a meditation. If there's ever a year to learn how to meditate, this is it. This is it. So meditation's simple. Basically, it's sitting with a straight back, closing your eyes, turning off your iPod, your iPad, your iPhone, your iLife, if you will, and being quiet, and just putting your hands on your chest, on your heart, and feeling your heart. Feeling your heart. And actually feeling the beat of your heart, the pulse of your heart, then you're really in touch. You're in touch with your center. You're in touch with your life and the life force. You are in touch with as deep, a powerful, important part of you as you can possibly connect with and access and tap. So when you connect with your heart, you are getting into the most powerful truth that you have, the most powerful way to make a decision. And so I feel my heart, and then I ask my heart what to do, and let my heart give me the answer. And it usually has happened. And that is what I call intuition. Intuition is not just a little impulse. It's a deeply considered, profound self that integrates subconscious, higher self, thinking self, physical self, emotional self, all these different selves that we have. It's a natural integrator, the heart. It's right in the center of you. The heart has wisdom. And particularly, you've brought all this other information into it. And the heart moves us. The heart is the life force that keeps us going, and whereby we can sustain the decision that we make, if you will. So that's it. However, I got to tell you, okay, you can do all of that, and maybe you're still not convinced. Yeah, but, yeah, I guess I get it, but I'm not sure yet. So sometimes in those situations, what you do is you simply, in those situations, you just simply are maybe not ready to make the decision, or because this is a time of being the judge where you have to render a decision, you got to do this last one. But when you do this last technique, you absolutely have to commit yourself to following the decision that comes out of it. Okay. And it's going to the judge. And it's standing before the judge, and the judge is going to tell you the verdict, and you have to follow it. Can't you just run out? It's like, okay, Mr. Justice, Mrs. Justice, Madam Justice, this is what, okay, I'll do that. So how do you do that? All right. Use your active imagination. So I want you to visualize, and this is the genius of the mind's eye, imagination, to visualize a judge, a wise person, man, woman. It could be a tree, it could be an angel, it could be anything alive in the world, I mean, whatever that you can visualize, it's impartially going to render the right decision for you. Okay, so you close your eyes, you see the judge, visualize the judge, you go to the judge, tell the judge your situation, and ask the judge for the decision. And you just simply wait there until you get the decision, and then you say, thank you, Judge, and you go ahead and do it. And that's what it's all about. Follow the judge, if you will. Now, is that judge out there? Is that judge in here? It works. That's all I know is it works, and try it. So, wow, if you follow those great steps, these 8 different ways of making a sound, balanced decision, you're good to go, and you will find fulfillment in this coming year of uncertainty. It's a dynamic year. It's an exciting year. Relish the mystery. Relish the magic. Relish the ups and downs. It's all energy, and use it all, and you are good to go. Thanks very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and I will be back.